Okay, awesome. Welcome, everyone. This is session 7 and the final session of our effective leadership module, and really looking at different aspects of leadership, how we can be the best leadership. We started off at session 1 defining what leadership is, and we looked at some of the things that we have to do as leaders. And today I want to finish on what I think is very, very important, and that is there is a price to be a leader, and the price to be a leader is discipline. Okay, God has called you to be disciplined. Harry Truman, he said the greatest victory you must always win is to win over yourself. You've got to learn how to discipline yourself. If you want to be a leader, number one person you've got to lead is you. You've got to lead yourself into good things, okay? That's called self-control. And, you're trying to lead others and influence others, but if you can't discipline and lead yourself, then you're not going to succeed at leading others. Discipline is the price of leadership. Now, when you look at that fruit of the Spirit, self-control, and it's in other parts of the Bible, the Greek word is egrateia, and it literally means to grab hold of yourself. In modern English, it would be get a grip, okay? That is a really good picture of discipline. You grab hold of yourself and you say, no. We're not going to go walk past the donut shop and get the donuts. We're going to go this way and go a different way. We're not going to look at that pretty girl. We're going to go this way and go a different way. We're not going to spend all our money on that. We're going to save some and we're going to give some to the kingdom. Get a grip of yourself and take you where you need to be. Before you can be a great leader of others, you've got to get a grip of yourself and lead yourself. You cannot take anyone where you've never been. Okay, and many gifted leaders, I meet many people who are gifted leaders, they're natural communicators. I mean, they're just great at communicating. They're great at sharing stuff. They're great at inspiring people, but because they never discipline themselves, they never reach their potential. They spend their life trying to find a shortcut, the easy way to be a great leader, and there's no shortcut. Leadership is hard work. Leading others is not easy, and only discipline makes it possible. This is the price of leadership, is the ability to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined, okay? And so again, you want to ask any questions, the Q&A thing is right there. I can see any questions. I can see the chat there. Morning to Kalia. Amanda likes my t-shirt. Thank you, darling. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Maria. Good to have you all with us. Praise God. So, if you want to ask any questions, then please do. And either I'll answer them at the end, or if they're with the flow, I'll go with them there and then. Leadership's hard work. You need discipline. And again, you need to grasp it's not just as a leader, but in any area of your life. If you want to do something that's worthwhile, it's going to be difficult. It takes effort to get things that are worthwhile. Okay? There is nothing worthwhile that you can just have. Okay? Everything good about winning, everything good that you want in your life, you're going to put effort in, you have to put energy in, you have to put discipline in. You have to challenge yourself. You have to put hard work in. You're going to have to deal with difficulties. You're going to have to deal with strenuous stuff. It's that simple. There's no accidental leaders, okay? There's no accidental greatness. No person has ever accidentally moved a mountain. No one's ever woken up and went, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how I became a millionaire. I don't know how I became a pastor. I don't know. It just happened. No, that's not how life works. You need to put the effort in. You need to put the energy in. You need to have willpower to keep going. Good leadership always requires intentionality. You got to choose these things. So I want to try and help you today to understand this process of self-discipline so you can be the greatest leader you can be, okay? And the number one thing I want you all to take away from today is this, is that you move mountains with discipline. No, Jesus said you move mountains with faith. Yeah, but where do you think great faith comes from? Where do you think mountain moving faith comes from? What underpins mountain moving faith is discipline, okay? If I asked anybody on the planet, let's make it more simple, I asked you, if I asked anyone in Tree of Life, okay, anyone watching this on YouTube, do you want to have a better life? Do you want to have a better life? Yes, please. I want a better life. Yes, everyone wants a better life. Everyone wants to be better, have more money, have more wisdom, life to be easier, things to be better, to have more influence. The question is not, do people want a better life? Because everyone does. The question is, do you want to do what it takes? Do you want to do what it takes to make it happen? When I was doing my master's, and I did my master's degree in biblical languages, and I had a particularly difficult Greek class, and I remember we had a 2-hour Greek class. It was just basically learning stuff about Greek, and trying to get my head around this was really hard. And I must admit, I wasn't in my champion mentality. And there was about 10 students in this master's class, and myself and a couple of the students around me, we were getting quite moany. Oh, this is hard, this is difficult. And the lecturer said, you chose to do this class. You all chose to be in my class. You all made the choice to be here. So I'd appreciate it if you stop moaning and just do what you've got to do to get through this. And it came out of my mouth. So I said, I don't want to do this class. I want to have done the class. But, you know, you can't have done the class without doing the class. And I love all the benefits of having done that class. And I really do. It's really helped my life and helped my Bible study and helped me be a better pastor and better preacher. But at the time, I didn't want to do it. And part of good leadership is doing things you don't want to do because it's better that you have done them. It's better. I don't want to diet. I want to eat all the donuts and all the pies, and I want to eat cheeseburgers. But it's better. The results of doing that are better. And for some of you who don't know how large I was, know what it was like, you know, just being able to clip your own toenails without kind of taking an hour or two to do that, it's different. My life is different. That's better. Everything's better because I've done it. And there's certain things you need to do to be a great leader. You got to do them, not because they're nice, but because it's better that you've done them. Discipline is what gives you the power to move mountains. There's so many people preparing and preparing and preparing, but you just need to get up and make it happen. And then, you know, you got to do after you made it happen, you got to do it again. And you got to do it again, and you got to do it again. So little Johnny comes home from school. What did you learn at school today, Johnny? What did you learn at school today? Not enough, Mum. What do you mean not enough? Well, I've got to go back tomorrow. You know, and that is what discipline is like. You know, how much have you dieted today? Not enough. You still got to go back tomorrow. How much have you read the Bible today? Not enough. There's no one here who's read enough Bible to go, right, that's me finished Bible reading for the next 5 years. No more Bible for me for the next 5 years. It's not enough. You got to keep doing it daily. You see, greatness is not paid for. It's rented, and the rent's due every day. You've got to do what you got to do every day to keep up and be disciplined. In the midst of drudgery, you got to focus, where am I going? Because there are times when you're going to feel the difficulty of leading others. You're going to feel the pain of it. You're going to feel other people's needs. You're going to encounter their offenses. People are going to get offended at you if you lead them. You're improving, you're growing, you got to walk above your emotions, you got to keep pushing. There's times you want to crawl into a hole. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. And you want to be in self-pity, you want to be like Elijah in the cave, but you start to walk and you grow and you develop and you keep going and it starts to turn out good. Discipline is how you move mountains. Discipline is how you win. Sometimes it's just boring. It's just drudgery. It's just doing the same thing over and over again. And when that happens, you've got to focus on where you're going to. And you've got to decide, I'm going to beat me. I'm going to win over me. I'm going to conquer me. And that's what discipline is. The second thing is this, is that discipline makes your success sustainable. You see, so leadership is about pushing forward, and anything worthwhile, you're going to get those people out of Egypt and get them into their promised land, and you're going to get your company to where it was, to where it should be, and you're going to get your church to where it was, to where it should be. Leadership is about constantly pushing forward, and that battle never ends. But the truth is, you cannot push forward every single day at 100% effort all the time. I've got a blog, benjaminconway.net. benjaminconway.net is a blog for leaders. And I've done a series, about 5 or 6 posts on that blog recently about sustaining pace and how you get people to move at a certain pace. And then there's times you see foolish leaders try and get everyone to go 100% all the time. And you can't do that. You have to have margin. You have to slow down at times. Anybody can go 100% for a day, right? Anybody can diet for a week. Anybody can go to the gym once. Anybody can go to church on time for a month. That's short-term success, but we need something deeper. It's discipline that brings us into long-term success. It's discipline that says, I'm going to keep going because it's going to be hard. It's discipline that says, even if it is hard, you know, the price of leadership is discipline. You cannot own leadership. Again, like I said, anything worthwhile is rented. You got to pay the price every day. Every single day. The key to success, Thomas Huxley said this. What's the key to success, Thomas Huxley? Do what you should be doing when you should be doing it, no matter what you feel like. There are many other keys, but that's the key of all the keys. The king key. The king key. That doesn't sound right, does it? The key of keys. There is no success without hard work. There is no success without hard work. And the problem you'll find as a leader, and you'll really find it if you go on TV and start preaching on TV, is that people are looking for something very quick. People phone you up looking for an instant magic wand, okay? They need inner strength to keep going. They need to learn how to be patient every day, how to be kind every day, how to be persevering, how to be strong every day. And the more people you lead, the more pressure you have, the stronger you need to be. This is one of the paradoxes of life. Paradoxes of life. If you do what's hard in the short term, then long term will be great. If you do what's easy in the short term, your long term life will be hard. That includes shopping. If you just buy all the stuff, then tomorrow you're going to have trouble. You're going to have financial trouble. But if you do what's hard today financially, you're going to have great finances long term. If you eat all the cakes today, you're going to have a tough time tomorrow. But if you discipline yourself today and eat your vegetables, then you're going to have a good time tomorrow. If you pray today and spend time with the Lord today, then you're going to be prepared for tomorrow. If you say, no, I'm not going to pray today, I'm going to watch TV and just relax, then you're going to miss out on what God's trying to tell you, and long term is going to be worse. Okay? So if you do what's comfortable short term, you'll have a bad long term. But if you discipline yourself short term, then the long term is going to be more fruitful and better. That's called paying the rent to be a great leader. It's paying the rent for greatness. Okay? Rory Vaden wrote a book called Take the Stairs. That's a great book about discipline. It's not a Christian point of view, but it's just got some great ideas about why we should be disciplined people. And so the book's called Rory Vaden, Take the Stairs. Someone's going to ask me to repeat it. And this is the quote I've got for you. The short-term easy leads to long-term difficulties, while short-term difficult leads to the long-term easy. The great paradox that what we thought was the easy way, what looks like the easy way, what seems like the easy way, creates a life for us that's anything but easy. And inversely, the things we thought were most difficult, the roughest challenges, the toughest challenges, the requirements that seem most rigorous, are the very activities that lead us to the life of easy that we really want. That's a great quote. I remember I learned to drive about 7-8 years ago. Some of you don't know that. I was 30-something when I learned to drive. I didn't learn when I was a teenager. I didn't learn in my 20s. I was 30-something. And, I was living in Dagenham, pastoring Tree of Life Dagenham, didn't need to drive. I could walk to church, and Mandy could take me places when we went, and great public transport system in London. And then God started speaking to me. You're going to plant a church in Guildford and Watford and, Essex. And you're going to plant all these churches. So immediately, my passion and my heart was I got to learn to drive. And I prayed. I had a list of driving instructors on the computer screen. I was like, I don't know what I want to choose. And I prayed. That's why I prayed. I said, Lord, give me the toughest driving instructor. Give me the best one. And I tell you what, God showed me which one was the best one. And I got the best one. And he was brilliant. And he was tough. I mean, he was really tough on me and really exacting. But when I passed my test with only one minor, and I can drive, and literally I passed my test on Thursday. On Sunday night, I drove from Dagenham to Guildford around the M25 and preached. It was great. It was great. It was great to go into that test confident I was going to pass. It was all wonderful. Why? Because I had the toughness now, and that's made it very easy for me to be able to drive and do everything I'm doing. You see, you got a battle because your flesh wants to be comfortable now. Your flesh likes living for today. Your flesh has no long-term vision. Just do it now. Who cares about tomorrow? That's flesh. But your spirit, fruit of the spirit is patience, or if you want to use King James language, long suffering. Okay, and that's like let's make sure the future is taken care of. I love to live in the moment. Listen, I'm not saying we can't live in the moment, we can't have fun in the moment, we can't go out for a good meal. I'm not saying that, but most of the time we need to live above our flesh and live in the spirit and live for the long term. Another great book, John Maxwell, called Today Matters. Okay, and what he basically does in Today Matters is the attitudes you pick for today are going to determine how good tomorrow is. And he basically talks about which attitudes to choose every day of your life. It's a really simple, it's very challenging. It's a simple read. It's not easy, if that makes sense. You're not going to struggle to read it, but you're going to struggle to apply it because there's some really powerful stuff in there. Choose the right attitude every day. Choose the right relationships every day. Anyone who just loves to live in the moment, doesn't think of the future, anyone who's ever woken up and regretted yesterday, go and get hold of John Maxwell's book, Today Matters. It will really, really help you. Okay. Now, the other thing that discipline does, and this is a great thing that discipline does, just checking there's no questions, discipline makes habits your slave, not your master. Okay? Every one of you watching me today has dreams. You have dreams, and to walk in those dreams, you're going to have to put some effort in. Okay? The problem with most of us is we have uphill dreams and downhill habits. And our habits keep us going downhill, not uphill, because our habits rule us. Everyone is ruled by their habits. You need to make your habits your slaves. Your habits are what will make you or break you in life. You need uphill habits. I mean, do you have a habit? Do you habitually pray in tongues? Do you pray in tongues every single day? That's a habit you should have. I'm not going to tell you how long for. That's between you and the Lord. And you know, I don't know how mature you are in the Lord. I don't know about, you know, what you know. It's important that you have a habit of praying in tongues. Did you learn something new every day? That's a habit you should have. Do you read your Bible every day? That's a habit you should have. Are you in church every week, no matter what? Have you decided that's where I'm going to be? That's a habit. Are you in your small group, no matter what? That's a habit. You know, are you doing something every day that challenges the way you think? You need good habits. Okay, most of us are trying to go uphill with downhill habits, and it won't work. So how do you change your habits? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you 3 things that are going to help you change your habits. Okay. Number 1, you change your habits when you change the way you think. Okay. Now, I'm a pastor. People come to me with bad habits they want to get rid of, or they come to me and they've got no good habits, which is just as bad. They've got no good habits. They don't read their Bible every day. They don't pray every day. They don't have a set time every day where they just dream. They don't do things on a habitual basis. You'll never be habitually successful without habits. So you need some habits. And the number 1 thing that they need to work on is change their idea of themselves. Who you think you are determines your habits. If you think that you're unholy and useless and rubbish, and, oh, I can't pray, I can't do this, you know, then you got to get up and pick yourself up and say, you know, I can do this. I can actually do this, and I will do this. Okay, it becomes a habit. And then bad thinking leads to bad habits, and good thinking leads to good habits. So again, the best habits to do, the best habits to start with, are the habits that change your thinking. Reading your Bible, praying in tongues, surrounding yourself with people who provoke you into growing. These are good habits. Choose yourself some good habits. Start to respect yourself. Start to view yourself as a champion. View yourself as a conqueror, and you will change your habits. And then eventually your good habits will become habitual, and you won't even think about them. You'll just get up and go, oh, look, it's 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time you get up, and you say, I'm going to pray in tongues for 20 minutes, or I'm going to pray in tongues for 30 minutes. And that's your habit, and you just do it. And while you're praying in tongues, rather than listening to Led Zeppelin, okay, or U2, then you put on some praise music, and you, rather than just read you know, the Haynes Manual or Star Wars or something, you're now reading the Word of God. You're now reading the Kenneth Hagin book. You're now reading 10 pages of Andrew Womack every day. And now you've got good habits, and everything's working together to change the way you think, to inspire you to dream, to push you to grow. Start to respect yourself. Realize you are a champion. You're awesome. Your future is bright. So let's get some habits in that are going to help you walk into that future. God has great plans for you. God has not put you on the shelf. God has not shelved you. God is not ignoring you. God has not forgotten about you. Put some good habits in your life. Put some good habits in your life. Okay. The second thing you're going to have to do to build good habits is do things on purpose, okay? It is amazing how many people I meet. I'm talking about born-again Christians, spiritual Christians, who never do anything on purpose. One of the best things I've ever done in my life was make a list of my 5 things I do first every day, okay? I don't even think about doing them. I do them. Every day I do them, okay? I wrote them down, those 5 things. This is what I do every morning. This is what I do. I do these 5 things. I don't not do them. And they're habits. They're just absolute habits. Every Monday to Friday, I do these 5 things. I read my Bible, pray in tongues. So I'm not telling you my habits, but I do them. I do it, and they build me up, and they strengthen me, and I do it every day. I did it on purpose until it became a habit. Listen to me. Your intentions will not matter. Your intentions, oh, I meant to do that. Oh, yeah, I meant to read my Bible. I meant to study the Word. I meant to learn about my career. I meant to grow and grow. No. Intention means nothing. What you do is what changes you. What you do is what gets you where you need to go. You need to do some things on purpose. Make a list of 5 things you're going to do tomorrow morning without fail. Okay? And tomorrow morning, Sunday, so make sure being at church is one of them, you know. I'm going to tune in, okay? But I'm going to pray in tongues for 10 minutes. Okay, if you never prayed in tongues, if you never had this one habit of praying in tongues before, 10 minutes is a lot. It'll feel like a long time. And then when 10 minutes starts to feel like not a long time, make it 15 minutes. Okay? These are purposeful habits that are going to change your life forever. He who prays in tongues builds himself up. And that leads me to the third thing you've got to do, and that's you have to have a hope. You have to be an optimist. Start to become an optimist. You know, if I meet a problem, right, there's a problem happening. I go, oh, there's no way I can solve that problem. There's no solution for that problem. I'm going to immediately fall into doubt. I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to have excuses. Excuses are off-ramps to our destiny. Excuses are the off-ramp to destiny. They take you off the motorway of success, and you're lost driving around tiny little towns, and that'll be the rest of your life because you made excuses. Stop making excuses. Start to expect there to be a solution. Start to expect you're going to make it. Start to expect you're going to win. Start to expect good things from your habits. The Bible says, you pray in tongues, you build yourself up. So when you pray in tongues, remind you, I'm building myself up today. I might not feel like I'm building myself up. I might just feel like I'm talking gibberish. It might just feel like it doesn't make sense, but I'm building myself up. The word says I'm building myself up. I'm building my faith up. I'm doing that. I'm building a habit. Start to expect there to be solutions. Well, somewhere in this book is going to be a key. It's a good book. Ben recommended this book. This is a good book. This is going to help me. It might not everything in this book might help me, but some of the stuff might help me. Some books I read, it's like I'm panning for gold. You know, I'm shaking all the dirt, and eventually I find a little bit of gold, and it changes my life. And so, you know, I'm going to be, if I'm reading a book, I'm going to be expecting something good from that book. I'm going to be expecting something helpful from that book. You know, you need to realize life is not easy. But when you start putting the effort in, you know, and you stop being entitled, no, I just expect everything anyway, start to expect, look, success is not hunting you down. You have got to discipline yourself. You've got to get a grip of yourself. No one else is going to come and grab you and pull you where you need to be. Okay? Most people in life don't care about you. They don't want your best. They're not looking out for you. You've got to look out for you. You've got to build habits in your life. You've got to decide how you're going to live. You've got to decide how you're going to make it. You've got to decide, what am I going to have to do to get there? What am I going to have to do to get there? And do it. And just do it. I hope this is helping. You're all very, very quiet today. Okay? This is challenging you a bit too much. But this is important stuff for leaders. People don't realize this kind of stuff. Number 4. Discipline has to be built into your life. You can't receive it. Some things can be received. Healing can be received. And lay hands on the sick and they recover. The new birth can be received. I believe I receive. You receive Jesus into your life. That's great, isn't it? But you have to build discipline. You can't receive discipline. I can't lay hands on you and suddenly make you disciplined. And suddenly make you habitually doing the stuff that gets you into success. And a lack of discipline is the number one thing that stops people walking in their potential. It's a real tragedy. But the good news is this, you need to realize this, no one is born disciplined. No one is born disciplined. So no one has an unfair advantage over you. Okay? No one. We all have to go and earn our discipline. We all have to make those choices. We all have to get up every day and do stuff we don't want to do. We all have to master ourselves. We all have to deal with our flesh. And every one of us, everyone listening to the sound of my voice, you can take the lid off and you can achieve your potential and you can do everything God's called you to do. And you can be a leader. You can be a success. You can be a champion. You can be everything that God's called you to be. But you need to be aware of the holes, the gaps in your discipline. Okay? What makes you lose your temper and become grumpy and horrible? What is it? The areas in which you step out of your sweetness, where you miss it. You need to develop this. You say, right, okay, yeah, these are my areas. Be honest with yourself. Again, not this introspective, condemning stuff, but just be honest. How do I develop discipline? How do I develop discipline? Okay. I came into my office this morning and somebody had made a mess on my desk. I know who it was now. I was like, who made a mess on my desk? Who's in my office? You borrow my office and you just make a mess. You just leave stuff everywhere, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm about to do this talk on discipline and I'm losing my self-control and I'm getting annoyed, you know, because that annoys me. That's my stuff and I've put it, it's where I want it, you know, and that's one of the areas which I have to work on, right? That's fine. I'm actually, you know, who am I? You know, big Benjamin, I'm going to tell you all what to do. I can pick up a few things that somebody else has left. I can tie them up. It's not a big deal. I've got to change my attitude there. So number 1, this is very important because a lot of people don't realize this. This is counterintuitive to a lot of people. Avoid temptations. Avoid temptations. Don't hit stuff head on. You know, I'm losing weight at the moment. Part of my program is, it's not, oh, let's see if I can resist the temptation. Just don't put the junk food in the house. If it's not there, I can't be tempted to eat it. If I leave it in the supermarket, I can't be tempted to get up at 2 a.m. and eat it in the fridge and, you know, do a fridge raid. So I'm just avoiding that temptation. Don't put yourself in the line of fire. If you don't keep the junk food in your drawers at work, you know, throw it in the bin. Just go to work on Monday, throw it in the bin. If you're trying to save money, don't go for a walk around Lakeside. Avoid temptation, okay? Avoid temptation. I saved a man's marriage once, not in Tree of Life. It was in another church. He came to me and he said, "You saved my marriage." I said, "I don't remember you. What did I do?" And he said, "I came to you and you came to preach at my church about 2 years ago. And he was getting on a train, married man, newlywed, happily married, but he was getting on a train to work every morning, and he'd get on the same train every morning, and this young lady would come and sit next to him on the next stop. She'd come on the next stop, and she'd sit next to him, and she would flirt with him, and she'd chat, and he'd go, I'm wavering. I'm really struggling here. I'm trying to resist the temptation. I'm trying to win." And she keeps coming. And I said, "I'll save your marriage in 3 words." That's what I said to him. And he said, well, what are the 3? You're desperate to know what the 3 words were. I said, "Get another train." I said, "Get up a little bit earlier and get the earlier train. Turn up at work early. No one's going to complain you're at work 20 minutes early, 30 minutes early. Get the earlier train. Problem is solved." Why would you try and resist that temptation all the time? Just move out your way. Just avoid that temptation. Just get out of the way of that temptation. Why are you putting yourself in the way of temptation? Temptation is tempting. It's in the name. Okay? Learn how to avoid temptation. Be like Joseph. Just run, man. Leave your jacket and get out of there. Okay? Don't put yourself in the line of fire. If that's a situation that winds you up, don't go there. You know? There's a reason I don't watch most of Question Time and those kind of political panel shows on TV, because it makes me want to throw things at my TV. And I like my TV. It's very nice TV. Okay? Because those people wind me up because they're stupid. The one time I almost did throw something at the TV was when Ed Balls, at the time he was the education secretary, I think the shadow education secretary, and he basically said that the children of the country are ours. It's up to us to re-educate what the parents are foolishly teaching them. No, they're not, man. And you know, I'm out of grace for that, man. You know, children belong to families, not the state. And you know, but I don't watch that stuff now because it makes me lose my peace. Even Andrew Womack was saying at the pastors' conference, the U.S. pastors' conference this year, Andrew Womack and Dwayne Sheriff, and I think Greg Moore as well, I think they all said it. I think all of them said it, that you can get really dismayed even just listening to Christian news. Because a lot of Christian news is telling you about, you know, this judge made a ruling for abortion, this judge made a ruling for homosexuality, this judge made a ruling for perverts to teach your children. And you go, hold on a minute. And you can actually get dismayed and depressed listening to that. So you've got to be careful. What are your temptations? Don't put yourself in the line of fire. Don't put yourself in the line of fire, okay? The second thing about this, and again about discipline, is realize you only have so much energy. Okay, you have to learn, again, look at my blog, benjaminconway.net, about setting pace. It's written to leaders, so it's about setting pace in an organization, but you got to learn how to set pace for yourself. You cannot go through life 100% of the time. I know we talked about managing time, which you can't manage time, you only manage priorities. We discussed creating margin in your life. That's something I was particularly bad at. You know, the amount of times I've turned up Sunday morning and I've landed Sunday morning at the airport and I've turned up at church and preached, and I used to love it, and I do love it, and I don't mind doing it, but really I need a bit more margin. I need to be a bit more rested and a bit more ready to preach so I can give you the best and preach the best. Knowing when, right, at this moment, I need to give 100%. For this problem, I got to really give it everything. You know, when that first lockdown started, we were like, right, we're going to give this 100%. And we made probably over 1,000 outgoing calls to people. You know, and we put structures in place. We made sure nobody went to bed hungry. We fed about probably a dozen families across the Tree of Life. And then we still had money coming in. So I started realizing traveling speakers, them money, giving them. And then we started giving to World Mission and feeding pastors in Zimbabwe, feeding people in Pakistan because the Muslim government wouldn't feed the Christians. And it was just amazing. And but there were times when it was 14, 16-hour days I was working, and it was hard. It was intense. Okay, everyone else was on furlough and we were just, you know, working really hard. But the second lockdown hasn't been that intense. It's been intense, but it hasn't been the same because a lot of those structures are in place. A lot of the systems are where they should be. And you see, you got to realize there are times like that when the government's just said we're all in lockdown, where you got to work 100%. You got to go, right, this is 100% now. Knowing when to be 100%, knowing what I'm going to go through this a bit slower today. Some days I have a deliberately shortened to-do list. I'm going to go through today a bit slower, because I need time to dream, and I need time to think, and I need time to leave enough in the tank in case someone phones me up at 2 in the morning I need to be able to get that. You know, look through your calendar, look at your life, look at what you're doing. Where do I need to be at 100%? And can I make sure I'm in my routine, I can get a little bit more energy before I enter that crucial moment? Loads of pastors take Monday off. That's what they do. They take Monday off. And I normally do rest most of the morning Monday. I won't start work till 11 or 12 on a Monday morning because the Sunday has been intense. The Saturday has been intense, especially when I'm traveling. But I normally take Friday as my day off. Why do I take Friday as my day off? So that today I've got some energy. You know, I'm going to do this now. Amanda's going to do the Healing University. And then tonight I'm going to preach to Canada. She's going to preach to you. Sunday morning I'm going to preach. Why would I take Friday off? So I hit this fresh and hit this with some life and some love, you know, because this is important to me, you know. And so you prioritize what's important. And then you say, right, I've got to make sure I'm going to be 100% when I get there. You've only got limited energy. You're not super duper, okay? You're just you. You've got limited energy. You know, take some time off and get there and get yourself where you need to go. Another way to develop discipline, okay? You might have heard this phrase before, eat the frog. Have you heard that? Has anyone heard that before? Eat the frog, okay? And what that means is if your to-do list on any day, if one of the things on your to-do list is to eat a frog, do it first, right? I don't know a situation where your to-do list might say eat a frog, but it means if there's something difficult to do, you've got to do today, do it first, okay? And again, that's different for different people. Some people might like a frog. But, you know, if you've got something to, like, one of the things I hate, one of the things I really, really hate is doing sort of some of the paperwork. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. It's not my natural forte. One of the things I have to do every single month, I have to do without fail, is submit everyone's salary and everyone's income. You know, we've got 8 staff at the church. I've got to submit all of that to the pension people to make sure the pension fund is kept up. I don't want to be the next Robert Maxwell. I don't want to be thrown out of a boat. I don't have to jump out of a boat, you know, because no one's got their pension. And so I've got to do that every month. I hate it. And on the days I do it, I just get up and I do it. Before anything else, I get up and I do it, and it's done, okay? No breakfast, nothing till this is done. And it takes me about 30 minutes, but it's just a horrible task to me. So if you've got a frog, eat a frog's on your to-do list. You know, if you're that kind of person who likes to put things off, and then you see, here's the thing, if you put it off, it's always hanging over you all day. It's there all day. It's going to be all day. You're going to be thinking about it, and it's going to get harder and harder. And if you defer the good stuff, like write my sermon, I love writing my sermons. I love getting my Bible. I love going, right, I'm going to preach on Romans 2 today. Well, what does Bob Yandin say about Romans 2? What does Andrew say about Romans 2? What does the commentary say about Romans 2? And what's it in the Greek? And, you know, I love that kind of stuff. So if I do all that first, I'm going to do all that thinking about that stupid frog. But if you do the hardest thing first, you'll find the rest of the day is going to be a lot better. And you all know that's true in your heart. You know, if you save today, you put that money in the bank today, your money's going to be worth more later. If you spend it all now, you're going to have nothing left when you're older. If you eat right today, you're investing in tomorrow you. You're making tomorrow you a healthier person. If you neglect your health today, you're going to pay for it tomorrow. It's your choice. But if you only ever do what you want to do, listen to me very carefully. If you get nothing else out of this sentence will change your life. If you only ever do what you want to do, you will never do what you really want to do. If you only ever do what you want to do, you'll never ever do what you really want to do. Discipline is doing something now. It's basically you doing a favor for future you. Okay, rather than stitching up future you. Okay, how I act today, I'm either blessing tomorrow Benjamin or I'm stitching up tomorrow Benjamin. Okay, John Maxwell says there's 2 pains in life: the pain of discipline and the pain of lack of discipline. And he calls the pain of lack of discipline the pain of regret. And he says, as you move forward in life, the pain of discipline always gets easier and easier, but the pain of regret will get worse and worse until the day you die. So choose discipline. Choose to be disciplined. Do the hard things first. Okay. Awesome. Okay. My 5th point about discipline is this. Discipline is easier to build. It's easier to be disciplined when the dream is bigger. The bigger your vision, the easier it is to get out of bed and do what you got to do. The bigger the vision, the easier it is to be disciplined. The best fuel for discipline is passion. Okay? I'm doing these things. I'm praying every day because I want to hear God and know God and build myself up because I'm going to change the world. Okay, but you know, you fulfill. I'm going to go and learn something new about mechanics every day because my dream is to be the best mechanic in the world. My dream is to train up mechanics. My dream is to make $1 million, fund the money into the kingdom. I'm going to learn about that every day. If you got that kind of dream, then passion fuels discipline. Okay, and if you don't have the vision to keep disciplined, well, here's the thing. Maybe that's proof you're doing the wrong thing. You know, again, I preached on this week, didn't I, about wear the coat your father gave you. Quit doing things you're not called to do. Quit doing things you don't do well and you struggle at, and do the things you do well. Quit doing the things you hate and start doing the things you love. Do things you're passionate about. You know, stop doing insignificant things that don't matter and do things that do matter. Quit not doing your dream and start doing your dream. See, changing what you do is easier. Changing what you do is not easy. Changing your life is not easy, but it's a lot easier than not doing your dream for the rest of your life. You know, we had a guy come to me and he was had a chance to go to medical school, and I said, I think you should take it. You want to be a doctor, you've got the passion, you've got the drive. And he said, but I'm 35 years old. Medical school is 5 years. In 5 years' time, if I go to medical school, in 5 years' time, I'll be 40 years old. I said, I'm going to give you a great revelation here. You're going to be 40 in 5 years' time, no matter what you do. I mean, just pick your age right now. Add 5 to it. That's how old you're going to be in 5 years' time. There's nothing you can do to change that. You cannot change time. You cannot manage time. You can't control time. I'm 44 today. Not today, it's not my birthday, but I'm 44 right now. In 5 years' time, I'll be 49. I can't change that. I cannot change that in 2025, I'll be 49. That cannot change. It's absolutely insurmountable. But here's the question. What kind of 49-year-old do I want to be? What kind of 49-year-old do I want to be? That I can change. And how do I change it? By what I do daily now, what habits I put into my life now. And by changing what kind of 49-year-old I am going to be, then that's going to change the amount of people who want to follow me, the amount of people who like me, the amount of people who respect me, the amount of people who want to be me will depend on the decisions and habits I make now. This is why discipline is the price of leadership. And so the other thing that increases discipline is one is passion, but the other thing is self-respect. And it's a beautiful, you know, you have vicious circles where things get worse and worse and worse. Well, discipline and respect is a beautiful, I don't know what the opposite of a vicious circle is. It's a kind circle, okay? Discipline and respect is the kind circle. You see, the more you respect yourself, the more discipline you have. But the more discipline you have, the more you respect yourself. The more you respect yourself, the more discipline you have. And the more you discipline you have, the more you respect yourself. And the more you respect yourself, the more it's beautiful. Nothing makes you develop self-respect than you doing stuff that's hard to do. Doing what's right, doing what's important brings self-esteem. Respect from others is earned in the hardest battles. And self-respect is the same way. You see, we've accepted this lie in society, and especially in Christian society, that we should feel good about it before we do the right thing. Now, I believe, let me caveat this. I believe that you find your identity in God, that true rest is found in knowing who you are in Christ. But you're going to make your life a lot easier. Listen to me. You're going to make it easier to do that. And you're going to be able to respect yourself and identify yourself as righteous a lot easier if you actually do what's right. And then you do what's right before you feel good. And then you start to feel good because you're doing what's right. When you make decisions based on principles, not popularity, when your attitude comes from your actions, not letting a bad attitude cause inaction, when you decide to live by faith, I'm going to believe first, I'm going to believe this is going to work, I'm going to do it, and then you start to create momentum, rather than being the person who's always waiting for someone to happen, waiting for someone to pull me out of the pit, waiting for someone to wave their magic wand in prayer and make my life better, you know? No, you see, you walk into a new job, let's say, okay? You walk into a new job, or a new church, you walk into a new church, first Sunday in a new church, or any new situation, that could be a job or church, any new situation. Your first thought, normally, a normal person, what do I have to do to make people like me? What are my rights in this job? What are my rights? What am I entitled to? No. How can I go in and let these people know I like them? How can I turn up here and let everyone know I'm going to support them? Rather than ask what your rights are in your new job, what are my responsibilities? And then if you start changing like that, you're going to be an asset wherever you go. What made that happen? Discipline. That's the only way to make it happen. To be a great leader, you need to have discipline. Okay, awesome. And then the other thing you need to know is that discipline is what makes you consistent, and you'll never change without consistency. You'll never change yourself, never change your community, never change the world without consistency. Consistency is not a Christian buzzword, is it? No one, people sign up for the Signs and Wonders conferences, pay money. People pay dollars and pounds, dozens and hundreds to go to these conferences. Signs and Wonders, get something, lay hands on me, give me a miracle worker. And consistency, no one's going to pay money to go to a consistency conference. But listen, it's the tortoise that wins the race. It's the tortoise that crosses the finish line first. Consistency does not get the early rewards. It doesn't. But it never gets captivating. It never gets hyped up. We fall for charisma. We fall for genius. We fall for exciting words. But if you want results, you've got to be the plodder. You've got to just keep going and keep going and keep going. Let me tell you some stuff about someone. I consider myself to be consistent. I've consistently run Tree of Life for the last 10 years. I've consistently planted new churches. I've done it the same way. I've consistently made sure that we'll make every church is full of the word, full of spirit. You know what starts to happen? It's consistency that builds a reputation. Anybody can preach a great sermon once in a while, but it's discipline that makes you good all the time. When you're consistent over long term, people expect you to keep being good because you've been consistent. Okay? I'm speaking in Canada tonight. I spoke there yesterday. Now, I spoke at their summer conference, and it really blessed people there. So they said, we expect you to be good again. We expect you to come bring the same kind of word again. That was good then. They expect me to be consistent. Most of you, when you come to Tree of Life on a Sunday morning, you come to the Dagenham Church, I'm going to preach, most of you expect me to have prepared and have a sermon, and have a good beginning, and have a good end, because I've consistently done that. You see, people put their faith in you. People start to trust you because you're consistent. And consistency is the only path to excellence. If you find me someone, bring me someone, say, that person is excellent at what they do. Okay, you take Chris and Ron. They're excellent leading worship. You're showing me someone who's doing it every single day, over and over and over and over. When it's boring, still doing it. When they're upset at other people, still doing it. When they're offended, still doing it. When it's tough, still doing it. When there's not much time, still doing it. When there's not much money, still doing it. That's how you become excellent at something. No one was born that good. No one was born that good. You become consistent. Consistency brings you to excellence. Consistency makes other people feel safe around you. One of the highest compliments you'll get is someone say, Pastor, I like being in this church because I'm confident in you. I can rely on you. That only comes from consistency. Or, I like you being my boss. I can rely on you. That's consistency. Consistency builds the dream. Good leadership is always visual. Okay? You have to impart a vision to people. You have to paint a picture. And one of the best visual illustrations is someone doing it. If you've got a leader and the leader's late for their own meetings and the leader is, only does when they feel like it and cuts corners, that's how the team's going to be. I don't care what the leader teaches them. They're going to copy him. That's the vision they're getting. But the leader is always on time. The leader who's paying the price. The leader who keeps his word even when it's unhurt. That people on his team will be like that. That's what happens. That's what consistency is. And the other thing about consistency, the greatest thing about consistency is a compound issue. It gets bigger. It's like a little snowball at the top of the mountain. It goes bigger and bigger and bigger as it starts to come down the mountain. Success brings success. Refuse to take shortcuts and you will be better. Now listen to me. Since the day I got baptized in the Holy Spirit, God gave me a gift to be able to communicate to people. I can wing it. I can get up and I can be good at my feet. No preparation. I can get up and wing it. Okay, and there are times I have to wing it. The Q&A on a Thursday, I've got to wing it. I don't know what you're going to ask. I don't. Unless someone asks something beforehand, I don't really look them up. I just wing it. I just go into my mind and wing it. Okay, so there are times I've been on, Revelation TV, the question and answer show. I've got to wing it. Or there's been a couple of times we've been doing a conference at Tree of Life, and one of our guest speakers didn't make it, and I got to get up and preach conference level stuff for a session. And I wing it. And that's fine. I can do that. But if that's all I do, if I got up every Sunday and just got up and just spoke, right? Didn't prepare a message, didn't get ready, didn't do anything, man, I'd have so much more free time in the week. It takes me about 10 hours to prepare a sermon, 5 to 10 hours, 6, 7, 8 normally. Okay. And I'd only be speaking based on my gift. So the limit of my ability, the limit of my excellence would be my gifting. But if I do the work, and I put the research in, I put the time in, I put the effort in. And every time I preach for Tree of Life, and I know I'm going to preach, that's what I do. And that success has brought compound returns. You see, when you start, success brings success brings success. And I'm now better at winging it, but I don't want to do that. I want to prepare. I'd rather do it that way. You know, and what you got to realize, when someone's got a gift at something, whether it's natural, whether God supernaturally gave you the gift like they did me, that doesn't mean we don't still have to prepare. We don't still have to work. We don't still have to develop. Okay. And then consistency brings growth. Only consistency brings growth. Success is doing every day what other people only do occasionally. That's the route to success. Doing every day what other people only do occasionally. So there's one question you're all asking me now. I'm going to really only got a few minutes to share on it. One question. How do I develop this self-discipline? How do I do it? I'm going to give 3 things, okay? Start first, strong first, spirit first, okay? So number 1, start first. No one is going to turn up at your house with a tablet or an injection and go, this is going to make you disciplined. It doesn't happen. Okay, no one's going to lay hands on you, shikadabasunda today, and now you're disciplined. Okay? You need to start. If you don't start, you're not disciplined. Start. And the best way is create a little plan, because when you win the little plan, then you start to develop a track record. You start to respect yourself a bit more. So, you know, pick an area of your life in which you regularly fail. Okay? And if you don't have an area of your life which you regularly fail, well done, you're winning. Okay? But pick an area of life where you regularly fail. Okay? I eat too many biscuits. Okay, well, you've got to draw a line in the sand now, okay, right? If you don't buy biscuits, there will be no biscuits in the house. Ta-da! Okay, there you go. But my kids, shut up about your kids. Your kids are not going to die if they don't get biscuits, okay? Just tell them to shut up. Tell your own body to shut up. Tell your husband or wife to shut up. No biscuits in the house. Sit down. I mean, you don't have to do it that rudely, but you say, look, Daddy, Mommy is struggling right now. My kids know that I struggle. If there's chocolate in the house and I'm hungry, and I'm hungry a lot because I don't eat as much as I should, I'm going to eat that chocolate. I'm going to eat it. Now, what they do know is Daddy doesn't like Haribo. Oh, man, that stuff's foul, right? I do not like that. You could stick a bowl of that stuff in front of me, jelly babies, Haribo, all that kind of, I don't care for it. So can you do me a favor? Because I got 3 of my 4 children, they're adults. You know, they got their own money, they got their own income, they're working, they got bursaries, they got scholarships, they got everything. You know, if you're going to buy stuff and bring in the house, just make sure you buy the Haribo. Okay, buy the stuff that I'm not tempted with. That's not going to kill them. They're not dead. They survive. They manage it. We work together. We're family. And you say, right, there we go. Draw a line in the sand. Do something to avoid a temptation. Right? There's a little victory that any one of you can have. Okay? You know, I have helped so many men get set free from a pornography addiction. 6 words. I think it's 6 words. Go to bed when your wife does. 7 words. Go to bed when your wife does. There you go. Problem solved. Problem solved. If you avoid the temptation, you can't be tempted. So that's a simple thing. You know, you all know now. I'm not asking you to tell me. I'm not asking you to type it in. Right? But you know now your life where you're failing. It's just cut the temptation out of your life. Catch an earlier train. Get on a different train. Number 2, practice some self-discipline. Self-discipline is doing something now that you don't like for rewards later. Okay? So, I don't know what that is for you. Do a mile walk. I don't like walking. Go out of the house, do a mile walk. Get on top of your emails. If I'm going to get on top of my emails, I'm going to answer every email today. Whatever it is. And then give yourself a little reward for doing it. Not the biscuits that you've just avoided, right? I mean, another reward, okay? And then you've got to learn, whenever you start out being disciplined, you have to learn this skill. It's called get up when you fall flat on your face. Because you're going to fall flat on your face. We all are. We all do. Okay? There are times in my dieting, I have fallen flat on my face. What do? I get back up, you know? Where is it? Where is it hiding? I don't know where my phone is. I want to show you my phone. I'll use my watch as an example. Okay? Here's my watch, right? Now imagine I drop my watch. Oh my goodness, I dropped my watch. Imagine I had a slight crack on it now. Well, I'm going to go, oh man, I've dropped it. Who cares? Smash, 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 smash. Throw it around the room. Who cares? Let's just smash it in pieces. You'd never do that. But that is how so many people treat their discipline. That honestly, so many people treat their discipline like that. Okay, you're dieting, you're eating this, you're eating this, you're eating well, blah, blah, and then you eat something you shouldn't do. Okay, you're just tempted, you fell for the temptation, you ate something you shouldn't. Oh man, I had one Oreo. Yeah, it's about 50 calories. I had one Oreo. I might as well eat the whole packet. I might as well just go out and buy a cheeseburger. I might as well just go. And then you get to the end of the day and you're eating so much you can't. Why would you do that? That's like dropping your phone, getting a little crack, and then trying to smash the whole thing up. Don't do that. A righteous man falls, Proverbs 24:16, but what? He gets back up again. You need to practice. You need to become someone who gets back up again. You drop out your diet for a day and then you eat every cake in the world. You drop out of prayer for one day. One day you don't pray. One day you didn't do your Bible reading. So now you don't read it for a month. Now you don't pray for a week. You turn up late at church because this happened, that happened. Now you're late from now on. That's your new time of arriving at church, 10 to 11. You need to realize, I messed up, but I'm going to get back up again. I'm going to get back up again. You are not going to get this right every time. I mean, you told us to be positive. Yeah, I know. You look again, balance out. Be positive. Respect yourself. But realize if you fall, get back up again. We've all fallen. We've all done it. So number one, you got to start. Start somewhere. Start small. Okay? I'm being serious, guys. Again, I don't want you to tell me, but I want you to think of these things and do some. Make some changes. If all this is, you go, nice talk, then it hasn't done what it should have done. Okay? I'm trying to get you guys to be the best leaders you can be. So start. Number two, strong. Strong first. What does that mean? It's easier to develop discipline in the areas you're good at. Start with the areas you're good at. What do you do well? What are you brilliant at? If you hate praying in tongues and you love reading the Bible, don't make your 5 things in the morning 50 minutes of praying tongues and 10 minutes reading the Bible. Make it 10 minutes of praying tongues and 50 minutes reading the Bible, because that's what you're good at. That's what you like. And if you love praying tongues and you struggle with the Bible, do 50 minutes prayer. It's easier to be successful at things you're good at. So start there. Start where an area of your life, where is winning really easy for you? Where do you get it right every time? And so I'm going to get stronger in that area. It's easier to get stronger in that area than it is. And you see, we have this thing, we're all trying to show up our weak spots. Marilyn Hickey shared a beautiful thing. I think I shared this at one of these seminars earlier about Chinese table tennis players. Well, they don't get them to balance out their weak areas. They get them to do what they do well, really well. That is right. That's how you should do things. That's how you win a battle. You know what you do well in that battle, and you keep doing that. You don't go around trying to, let's try 100 different moves. Bruce Lee said that. He said, a man who's mastered one move is not at the mercy of a man who can do 100. Master what you're good at. That's what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. So pick something you're strong in and get some discipline in that area. Pick a topic you love, and I'm going to read 10 pages of that every day, okay? And it's going to be easy because you love it, and it's easy because it's going to show because you love it. The passion will come through. It's going to be something you're good at, okay? So start first. Go do something. Do something small. Do it. Do something. Number two, pick an area strong and get good at that. Number three, spirit first. Put spiritual things first. There is a number of areas in your life in which you need to get disciplined. Agreed? Yes. Okay, where you eat, where you go, how you approach your job every day, Monday to Friday, how you rest. Some of us need to be more disciplined about our rest time. All of us have different areas. But over all those areas, above all those areas, is you need to be disciplined in your walk with God. That's not legalism. Legalism is doing things like Bible reading every day and prayer every day to make God love you, to get brownie points, to get God to bless you. No, we know he loves us. We know in Tree of Life he loves us. We know we're already blessed with every spiritual blessing. Discipline is doing those things to get better at those things and receive the benefits of doing them, okay? So what I'm saying is make sure that you get that right. The more you get the spiritual right, then the more the rest will fall into place. This is the big stuff in your life. Understand what the Bible says about you. Understand what God is trying to say to you. Having a strong spirit, walking above your flesh. And you get those right, everything else will be in order. Awesome. Well, I really believe this has helped. I just have that sense. I really have a sense that what I'm saying today is helping you. It's good for me to revisit this kind of stuff regularly. So hopefully that's blessed you. I'm finished now. Finished the whole thing. No one's asked any questions as yet, so I'll give you another 30 minutes or so. 30 seconds or so. If you've got any questions you want to ask, type them in, press the Q&A button, type them in, and I'd love to answer those questions. So apart from that, thank you so much for being part of this course. And if you need to watch it again, all 7 parts will be on YouTube. The first 6 are, and I'll upload this to YouTube at some point today. And then you've got next week we'll start this new thing, how to hear God. How can I hear God speak? And we'll talk about hearing the voice of God. And that will bless you. So it's now 9:27 and 10 o'clock today. Amanda is doing the Healing University. You're all welcome to that. tree.church/leadership academy. Click on the Healing University. Get the right one. Don't click on the Saturday one. Don't click on the Monday to Friday one, because that meeting will not be open. And then I'll get all sorts of random text emails. The meeting's not working. It's not working. It's not working. You're just in the wrong meeting. Be in the Saturday meeting if you want to be part of that Healing University. And that's going to be a really great, message on healing. Tonight, I think it's 5 o'clock. I'll put it in the WhatsApp groups and everything. I'm speaking to Canada, but you're more than welcome to be part of that and get involved with that. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, we have church. 7 o'clock tonight, online church. Chris and Mona leading worship, and Amanda is preaching. And I've had the joy of hearing some of the stuff she's preparing, and I'm very excited about the gifts that God has for you, for me, for all of us. And so it's going to be great. Awesome. Praise God. There's no questions. A couple of comments, just how people have been blessed. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Lydia, Kalia, Portia, Fortunate, Allison, Helen, Joshua, Ben, Joseph, Jen. Okay, awesome. Praise God. Going down. Bill and Susanna, Kalia, Maria, Ashley, and Nancy. Really glad it's blessed you. And everyone hasn't said thank you, but you haven't had time to type it. Listen, it's been a joy. I've really enjoyed doing this course, and I'm looking forward to next week as well. So speak soon. Love you all. And you're blessed. You're blessed and highly favored. Do something. Start today. Start today. Do something today. Do something today. It's going to change your life forever. Just put a daily habit into your life, and man, it'll be great. Awesome. Cheers.